quiet hospital room on a rainy night, where every tick of the clock echoes like a heartbeat, and in that very room, a dying man holds a secret that will change a nurse's life forever. Stay with me for the next few minutes as we uncover this unexpected, heartwarming tale. Every night shift brought its own mix of challenges and surprises, but nothing could have prepared Nurse Sarah for the evening that changed everything. The fluorescent lights of the hospital ward buzzed overhead as Sarah moved through the corridors with the practiced ease of someone who'd spent years caring for others. But that night, as she entered room 214, she felt a curious pull, a sense that this particular shift held more than just routine tasks. Inside room 214 lay Mr. Richard Thompson, a frail man whose kind eyes betrayed a life filled with untold stories. His breathing was shallow, and though his body was weak, there was an unmistakable spark in his gaze whenever Sarah entered. Over the course of that evening, as the storm outside intensified, Sarah settled in by his bedside, determined to bring a little comfort in his final hours. "Good evening, Mr. Thompson," she said softly, arranging the pillows and adjusting his blanket. "How are you feeling tonight?" A gentle smile played on his lips. "Better, now that you're here," he replied, his voice barely above a whisper. Sarah chuckled softly, noting the twinkle in his eyes, a spark of mischief that belied his fragile state. As the hours passed, Sarah administered medication, checked his vitals, and listened to his soft-spoken reminiscences. Between the rhythmic beeps of the monitor and the distant patter of rain, Mr. Thompson shared fragments of a past that seemed almost too colorful for someone in his current state. He mentioned distant travels, secret adventures, and a life that stretched far beyond the hospital walls. Each story was told with a blend of wistfulness and humor, making Sarah wonder about the man behind the tired eyes. One story in particular captivated her. Mr. Thompson spoke of a youthful escapade during his early years, a time when he was known not only for his bravery, but also for his unexpected acts of kindness. He recalled a moment during a harsh winter when he, barely out of his teens, had helped a stranger in dire need. "That stranger," he said with a soft laugh, "turned out to be the nurse who later saved my life. It's strange how fate works, isn't it?" Sarah listened intently, the gears in her mind turning as she connected the dots between his past and the present. There was something about his gentle humor and candid reminiscences that hinted at deeper layers, secrets yet to be revealed. As the night deepened, Mr. Thompson's condition worsened. Despite the steady stream of care, it was clear that his time was drawing near. Not wanting to let his spark fade away without leaving a final imprint, he reached for Sarah's hand. "There's something I must share with you," he murmured, his voice trembling slightly. He leaned closer and, with great effort, managed to push a small, worn leather notebook towards her. "This belonged to me long before I came here. It's full of memories and, if you're willing, secrets too." With that, his eyes fluttered closed, and soon after, the steady beep of the heart monitor turned into a gentle silence. Stunned, Sarah clutched the notebook, feeling as though a window had just been opened into a world she had never known. In the quiet aftermath, as the rain subsided outside, she sat by his bedside, the weight of his parting words pressing on her heart. Back at home later that night, Sarah carefully opened the notebook. The pages were yellowed with age, filled with elegant handwriting and sketches that told the story of a life lived in vibrant hues. There were detailed accounts of Mr. Thompson's secret endeavors, a life that was as dramatic as it was humble. He had been a decorated war veteran, yes, but even more remarkably, he had been a clandestine benefactor to countless families during his years of quiet retirement. One entry caught Sarah's eye. It detailed how, during the post-war years, Mr. Thompson had anonymously funded the construction of community centers and safe houses for those displaced by conflict. He had even gone to great lengths to ensure that his identity remained hidden, preferring to let his good deeds speak for themselves. The notebook chronicled every act of kindness, every secret donation, every selfless deed. Even more touching were the sketches of smiling children, rebuilt communities, and heartfelt letters of thanks from those whose lives he had quietly transformed. But as Sarah read on, the notebook revealed something even more personal. In a faded envelope tucked between the pages, she found a letter addressed simply to the one who cares. With trembling hands, she unfolded the delicate paper. The letter was from Mr. Thompson himself, written in his neat, deliberate script. Dear friend, if you are reading this, then I am long gone. But know this, in every act of care you give, in every moment of compassion, a part of me lives on. I spent my life helping others in secret because I believed in the power of kindness. Now I entrust my secret legacy to you. Use it to spread hope and love. In every smile you inspire, remember that even in our darkest hours, light can be found. Yours in gratitude, Richard. Sarah's eyes filled with tears as she absorbed his words. The secret was not a treasure map or a fortune hidden away. It was the legacy of kindness, the quiet promise that even in our final moments, we can choose to change the lives of others for the better. It was a legacy that Mr. Thompson had carried silently throughout his life, never seeking recognition but always driven by an unyielding belief in the goodness of people. The next day at the hospital, as Sarah prepared to leave, she couldn't shake the feeling that Mr. Thompson's secret needed to be shared. With the permission of the hospital's administration and in honor of his memory, Sarah organized a small memorial service in the hospital's courtyard. Staff, patients, and even strangers who had been touched by Mr. Thompson's quiet deeds gathered to celebrate a man they had never met, but who had touched countless lives. During the service, Sarah spoke with a voice filled with warmth and conviction. Mr. Thompson's life reminds us that every act of care, every moment of kindness, builds a legacy that lives on. We often look for grand gestures, but sometimes the most profound changes come in small, quiet acts. Let us honor his memory by living with the same spirit of selfless love. There was a moment of silence, followed by a gentle murmur of agreement. It was as if Mr. Thompson's spirit had silently taken his place among them, inspiring everyone to believe that even the smallest act of compassion could change the world. Weeks turned into months, and Sarah found herself transformed. She continued to care for her patients with renewed purpose, always mindful of the secret legacy entrusted to her. Inspired by Mr. Thompson, she started a small initiative at the hospital, a fund dedicated to supporting patients in need, ensuring that the spirit of kindness lived on in every corner of the institution. Every time Sarah saw a smile on a patient's face or a thank you note tucked into a hospital bulletin board, she thought of Mr. Thompson and his hidden notebook. His secret had not been a scandalous revelation or a hidden fortune in the traditional sense, but rather a reminder that the true treasures in life are the moments of genuine care and love we share with one another. In the end, what Sarah discovered was that the secret wasn't locked away in a dusty old notebook. It was alive in every kind gesture, every heartfelt word, and every life that was touched by the quiet heroism of a dying man. And as she carried forward his legacy, she understood that each of us holds the power to be a silent benefactor in someone's life. The secret of Mr. Thompson was a gentle nudge to all of us. Even in our darkest times, a small light of kindness can ignite hope and create miracles. So, next time you think that your small act of compassion doesn't matter, remember the story of Mr. Thompson and Nurse Sarah. Sometimes the most profound secrets aren't hidden in grand gestures or lavish gifts. They're found in the simple, unwavering commitment to care for others. And that, dear friend, is a legacy that truly lasts a lifetime.